if I could tell you the three biggest reasons as to why you're not getting past those $10,000 a month with your agency, I'm sure you'd give me a lot of money. Well, the good news is in today's video, I'm going to be giving it away for free. But before I do that, I want to give you these two statistics. So the first one is 80% of small agencies, well, agencies in general, are unable to break past the $10,000 a month mark in their lifetime, which is fucking crazy, right? And I would actually probably say it's a lot higher than that as well. Just because a lot of people tend to give up, a lot of people just don't have the right guidance, a lot of people just are willing to basically make the mistakes that I'm going to give away today. I almost gave away some of them just there. But yeah, then the second statistic is 18 months is the average time it takes for an agency to reach consistent $10,000 months. 18 months. And again, I would actually argue it's a lot more than that, upwards of 24 months without the right guidance. So, what are the three biggest reasons? Well, the first one is hiring too slow. This is, I would say, a case and an issue with 99.9% of agencies under the $10,000 a month mark. Now, am I saying hire someone for full time? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is you need to get someone on board to assist you with the workload, whether it's on the front end with the sales side of things or whether it's on the back end with the fulfillment side of things. Now, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But before we do, let's break down as to why this occurs. So the first one is, people come to me, and a lot of the guys inside Client Capital, they go, like, when do I hire? Like, when is the right time? And honestly, truthfully, I don't think there ever is a right time. Like, you just have to send it. And I guess my answer to that would be always hire before you think it's the right time to hire, because that time will never come around. Like, you will always be a little bit scared, a little bit reserved. And to be honest with you, truthfully, if you don't have someone working with your agency at the moment, that first hire is probably going to be shit. You don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to train them, you don't know how to keep them motivated, you probably hired wrong, like you've chose the wrong person, like all these reasons. But that's part of the learning curve, and the slower you hire someone, the longer it's going to take for you to actually get good at the hiring process and actually get someone on board. I think it's Stephen Bartlett that said on a podcast, he spends all of his time in his business in the hiring department. And the reason being, because he wants to be that person that makes a decision on who's joining the company. Now, obviously, we aren't multi-billion dollar, well, not billion dollar, but multi-million pound companies. But it's the principle. There's a reason why he's focusing a lot of his effort on the recruitment side of things. The second reason I always get told is scared to let go. Scared to let go of the work, like your agency. It feels like your baby, and letting people get involved and get their hands dirty feels like the wrong thing to do. And I promise you that is just a mindset thing. A lot of people go through it. Don't worry about it. You just have to let go and understand that yes, someone might not be able to do something as good as you can, but at least your time's now been freed up, and that's more important than you being able to do a better job than them. Now, one of the things that people say on a bit of a side note as well, and this again probably won't happen for your first few hires, is you've made a good hire when you've hired someone that is better than you at what they do. And that's so fucking true. It's so true. It's happened to me, not that often, but it does happen. Like the people that work with myself and Dan at the moment, they're brilliant people. They're really, really good at what they do. But yeah, I also had that initial fear of, I guess, letting go. Then the third thing is a fear of cost. Okay, and what I mean by this is, look, you might be at £3,000 a month, £4,000 a month. We all know that the profit margins are really high when you first start an agency. You barely have any expenses. Maybe go high level and that's it. If you're running an inbound system, maybe you're spending money on ads as well. But you got a fear of spending a bit more money with your agency, and that just comes from you being used to the high profit margins of the agency game. And obviously when you scale, that's not going to be the case. So you just need to get used to spending a little bit of money and investing in things that might not pay off, but they will long term. Because even if you hire 3 people in a row who are shit and the fourth one's really good and they stay with you for 2 years, that's a very good hire, and it's worth the mistake of hiring the 3 shit people at the beginning. And then the fourth one is a lack of knowledge. So what I mean by this is a lack of knowledge in terms of the interview process, SOPs, and actually how to train someone, how to, I guess, make someone, Have someone on board who you're not micromanaging, and also like the fear of, a lack of knowledge of motivation, etc. So all the different elements that comes to hiring and having someone work underneath yourself. So I guess the easy solution to all of this is join Client Capital. We help people with the hiring side of things, getting people on board, getting people into your agency, media buyers, or whoever you need. But of course, as well as what we do at Client Capital, there's a lot of content out there. Obviously, it's not as good as a paid service, right? But it will give you insights in terms of how to hire. One of the things I'd recommend, and this is such a good tip for all of you guys that have never like even interviewed someone before. Honestly, I was going to say even if you're at zero, but let's say you've got a couple of clients under your belt. Even if you're at a couple of clients, go on Upwork, go on Fiverr, put some job proposals out, job interviews, posts out, sorry. Get some interviews and just interview some people and get used to and practice just interviewing people that would potentially work for you, even if you're not actively hiring. And the reason why I say that is you're going to grow so much as an entrepreneur and as a business owner from doing something like that. Cool. So the second mistake is actually linked into this, mistake one a little bit, and that is taking insufficient risks. You need to take risks. I cannot stress to you how much I mean this. Taking risks is the difference between failure and success, and I truly believe that is the only difference. One of the most common things I've seen amongst all the people around me that are doing extremely well is they take risks. So that is my biggest piece of advice to you. Be willing to lose a couple of £1,000 on different things, trying different things, investments, whatever, because at the end of the day, a few might not work, but the one that does work is going to pay off massively. And that's the game of risks, right? Not every single risk is going to work out. But if I put £1,000 down into 3 different investments, for example, and they all flop, but then the fourth one makes me £10,000, I've actually made £6,000. Does that make sense? So that's the game of risks. You are going to lose some, but you're going to win some. And when you win big. There's 3 things, right? The first one is missed opportunities. This is like the biggest one in my opinion. Not only from a financial perspective, but you're also missing out on opportunities of development, like as an individual, as an entrepreneur, in skills, etc. Because, for example, some people were so hesitant to join Client Capital before they did. And when they took that risk, because at the end of the day, it is a little bit of a risk from your side, right? You're putting some money down, you might be scared to lose it or whatever and not see the return, which doesn't really happen, to be honest with you. But that's your thought process before you join, right? And then we've had people join us, take that risk, join, and they realize, shit, this wasn't a risk. I've learned so much. I'm now connected with other people who are agency owners. Inside our group, some people even give each other clients because it's not their area of expertise, or they may just make a little bit of a margin on it. Things like this, they share clients, and that's brilliant. And they're opportunities that you have by taking risks, such as joining Client Capital. And like I said, once you join, people realize it's not a risk. Then the second thing is risk results in success. I think I've already mentioned this. I won't go over it again. I promise you, risk makes you money in the long term. And then playing it safe doesn't help you grow. Again, linked to you as an individual, because you need to try different things. I'll give you a perfect example. Inbound, creating an inbound system for your agency. So many people are hesitant to take that risk of spending like even £10 a day on an inbound system. But if you don't take that risk, you will never know as to whether it's worked or not. And if it works, you've unlocked a channel there, which only takes 30 minutes a day. You're chilling and you're getting sales calls on autopilot. And by the way, it does work. And if you want to know how the inbound system works, watch this video here on my channel, which breaks it down in a lot of detail for you. Cool. And then the final mistake is number 3, right? Neglecting client acquisition. Holy shit. This is the most common mistake I see people make, and it kills me. It kills me. I have seen people before with 0 clients under their belt, literally not even making a penny, spend all their time on the wrong things. You need to be focusing on client acquisition and actually signing clients, okay? Struggling agencies are the ones that spend no time on client acquisition. It's pretty straightforward, you'd think, right? If you're not spending time on trying to sign clients and make money, you're not going to make any money. And people still, although they're aware of this because it's so obvious, still make this mistake. Now, the second thing, some of you guys watching this video might be thinking, oh, but I have 10 clients already, I'm getting £7,000 a month in recurring revenue. Should I not be focusing on keeping those clients rather than getting new clients? I do agree, right? LTV is very important, but getting clients is just as important. because clients do churn. We all know that, right? And that's why we need to also have that focus on trying to get new clients. As much as you need to focus on LTV, you need to focus on actually getting new clients through the door as well. And then the final point here is people focus on wanting to learn skills over money, but it's for deals that actually grow their skills. So what does this actually mean? Let me break it down. A lot of people, especially if they're just getting into the game, right? They think, oh, let me learn my service first before I try and do any outreach, before I try and get any sales calls under the belt. Well, if you flip that on its head and you do the sales calls and you sign clients, you then have that pressure to deliver, and then you'll grow your skills from that. I'll give you an example. When me and Dan first started our lead generation agency, this exact situation happened. We were like, okay, well, let's just go to market. Let's see if there's actually interest there. We were peltering the market, getting a lot of sales calls, and me and Dan were both dialing. And then we had calls in. It actually got to a point we promised a client that we'd be getting them 15 meetings on a monthly basis through email marketing, B2B lead gen, email marketing. 15 meetings. I've never really done email marketing before at this point, and believe it or not, we actually managed to deliver 15 meetings within the first month of actually running the email campaign. If you don't know, but email campaigns actually do take 2 to 3 weeks to warm up. So within the first 6 weeks, we actually delivered on what we said in terms of booking 15 meetings, and at this point, I had no clue what it was. And the only reason I could do that is because I had that pressure on my back of that client breathing down my neck. And if I flipped it and I did it the other way around, where I tried to learn the skill, not only would I made no money, but I'd have also not learned the skill as quick as I did when I had a client down my back. So they're the 3 biggest mistakes. If you're watching this and you're thinking, holy shit, this is me, I am making all these mistakes, then what I want you to do is click on the link below, watch the training video, and apply to join Client Capital. Because when you work with people like myself and Dan, you will not make these mistakes. We will stop you from making these mistakes, and we will only push you further and get you to those $10,000 plus months a lot quicker than you're probably on track to do right now. But if you do have any questions on any of these mistakes or other mistakes that you feel like you might be making, because a lot of people, the first step to actually overcoming a problem is being aware of the problem, right? So if you're unsure about some of the other problems that you're making, or you want to know if it's a mistake that you're making, feel free to comment it below, and I'll be able to give my bit of advice and tell you whether I think it's a mistake or not based on your situation. But yeah, please like, please comment, please subscribe, guys, and I look forward to speaking with you in the next video.